thinking.
What are you thinking about?
Do you shave your head, or is it like naturally like that nicely bald?
Top part naturally, sides have to shave consistently.
Gotcha. You have to like mow the lawn on the back.
Oh yeah.
Are we rusty? Has it been a while? Yeah, it's been a while. Let's start the show.
And I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
I like the Johnny Barks Show!
All around badass. That's who Johnny Barks is.
Johnny Barks, shout out to Johnny Barks, that crushed it with the editing.
Came in here shooting. I mean, I saw his ass walk in here, get a camera on. I had a camera on me as soon as you guys walked in here. I was like, all right, this dude is on it.
What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners. I am Johnny Barks, followed by to my
Bryan.
left. To my
B-Gert
right.
Sports. Bryan.
I never know how that works. B-Gert. I think we need to change the title. I have the old show name because you're not Bryan too. You're just Bryan.
Bryan too. Bryan as well.
How's everyone doing? Luke completed his first four-reel draft today of this season, I'm assuming, because I was in the league with you last year. Absolutely. Go ahead. We'll get to it by the end of the show. Don't have a lot planned today. But we have some sleepers and some not so sleep. I guess just sleepers. I guess just feeling sleepy and you want us to do your work for you. Just pick these guys and you'll be all good.
So
but that'll be a little bit later. We're just kind of talking. It's coming up. It's what we call a tease to later, teasing later content.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, what's up?
What do we got planned on the docket today? I guess I have our outline.
Did you have the outline? I didn't have the. I made the slideshow. You're supposed to make the outline.
Yeah. So the outline we wanted to talk about Hard Knocks and Caleb. I really like Caleb as a Bears fan, but as anybody who's watched this show knows, we obsess about Bears and Packers conversation. So
that is the show. We should just really change the name of the show to like emphasize the Bears Packers thing. Cause like,
right.
Especially if you guys are good and we're good, that'll be a good dynamic. Like it's not fun when I'm just making fun of you the whole time. I feel like a bully.
I was going to say half of it's just you roasting me for being optimistic.
Honestly, you ask for it most of the time though. You usually bring it up.
Hey, I'm okay with it.
Just a mere. There was like 2 weeks left in the season. You were convinced that Fields was still better than Jordan Love. Like, okay.
Oh, hold on.
One of them gets the highest paid contract in NFL history. One of them gets traded for a 6th-round pick. Right.
Hold on.
It's okay.
We'll get to that. You want to bring that up? We'll get to that. But so the outline for the day. I'm just going to move past what you just said. The outline for the day, we have Hard Knocks and Caleb Williams conversations. We have injuries, so what to look out for going into your fantasy drafts.
Yes.
And what to just be aware of if you've already drafted, if you're stupid like us.
Yeah, we did already draft.
Our league's already drafted.
Luke, just the housekeeping comments. Sorry, real quick. Luke, go ahead and just DM it to me on Twitter, I guess. That's fine. Pizzle, what's going on, buddy? And Sean, I'm in a slow IDB draft run. Fred Warner or Josh Allen's Hine. Ooh, I think Warner is a very consistent defensive player. Don't ask Bryan though, because Bryan despises defensive players. He made us get rid of him in our league. So
that's not true.
It is true, and you're trying to get rid of defense as a whole.
That's not true.
It's so biased.
I don't know where you're getting
it's so one-sided, bro. There's two wings of the political party. There are two sides of the offense. We have to incorporate both of them in fantasy.
Two sides of the offense.
Quality.
Did you hear what you just said? You sound like an nincompoop.
Two sides of the ball.
Two sides
of the
That's
offense
different.
and defense. Is the shadow to your being.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about injuries for one. And this is a live show, so we're going to be interrupting each other the whole night, and we're a little rusty.
That's our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, we're a little rusty, so we're getting back into the groove of things.
Yeah, did we do a post draft show? I thought we did one post draft show, maybe. I don't know. We just get so out of it with our schedules.
Yeah, I don't remember.
King is cursed. Perna's wheel lands your team or Grossi makes the video penalty. Yeah, apparently.
And then we'll look at our week 1 matchup. By the way, we can share the screen for our Yahoo week 1 matchup.
It's something funny. We'll share this. This is an extra tease, I guess. I saw that in the corner. I forgot I loaded that or made that the profile. That's what I thought. Someone just like found our way into the stream and just was like laying in bed. And I was like, what the heck? Oh yeah, that's the picture I chose for that because of sleepers.
And then we'll do our
sleepers. Let's just go over what's the news out of Bears camp. What's going on over there? There's a lot of hype building. Hard Knocks, Aaron.
Yeah, so one of my favorite things that I was able to take away from at least the first episode. I'm making my way through the second right now, but it's really fun to see that scene or that section of the show where it shows Matt Eberflus listening to Nick Saban, his former college coach at Tulane, walking through how to coach a quarterback at such a high level, and how you need to make your quarterback look to the rest of your team, while also how do you give them criticism. It was such a cool, unique dynamic. He's like, whenever he's in the pocket, stand right behind him and then ask him, what is he seeing? Let him tell you. And he's like, do that the whole time. I thought that was super cool. And then Luke, I'm not going to get worked up about Luke today. We're not going to get worked up.
This is like, I've said it before. This is the one, if you're going to have like go all in on any situation for any quarterback, this is the one. Like, this is the best one yet. The best quarterback to the best situation, but like you never know how it's going to turn out. I think number one picks at quarterback had not had a good like turn lately. I mean, Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff that are like kind of turned it around for themselves after like a hot and cold start. But like, go ahead, continue.
I mean, I'll say this: I don't know the last time a rookie quarterback, let alone, well, I do know the last time this happened. I don't know the last time a round 1 rookie I don't know the last time a first overall pick quarterback came into a situation like this.
Yeah, I think that was the argument. That was like what Dan Orlovsky and the guys were talking about. This is like the best since in the modern draft era. This is like the best situation on paper, at least.
Right. But
yeah, hopefully no injuries like our lovely neighbors in Minnesota.
Yeah, and so we could talk about Caleb in Hard Knocks all day, but I'm just going to say
I just want to ask you this before we move on. What do you think are your realistic expectations for Caleb Williams? Like, what's what makes you satisfied? Like, how many touchdowns? How many yards? Like 26 touchdowns and like 3,500 yards, maybe.
I mean, honestly, I'm thinking the passing game is going to increase so much. I think it's going to be a 4,000-yard passing season. But if he's healthy, I think it could very easily be a 4,000-yard passing season. 35, 40 touchdowns.
35?
35 or 40. I think it's very possible.
That's realistic expectations for you?
Yeah, and
you realize I'd be leading the league.
I'm telling you, well, last year you're talking about
33, I think. And
first of all, how many
32?
How many quarterbacks last year? I was going to say, how many quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, were healthy last year?
I mean, really, it was just Joe Burrow and like Aaron Rodgers, and Kirk Cousins missed the later half of the season. Kirk Cousins was playing really well. I'm just saying that it wasn't worse. It was a factor, but there was an overall trend last year. The offenses, just because it's the way defense were strategizing, and they're kind of just trying to take away the deep plays. So there were fewer deeper plays, like in like the last 10 years. Like I think it was the least amount of the last 10 years, and it was also like the least amount of points scored, or like second amount of least points scored. So like I didn't prepare the stats.
Right.
I'm not saying that's. I'm just saying that's a factor for me when I'm thinking about it. So
right. Oh,
that's high expectations regardless for rookie, because the rookie touchdown record was like 28 by Baker Mayfield, and then like I think Justin Herbert threw 29 or 30. Like that's like to have 5 more touchdowns. Like the hype for Justin Herbert was unreal, and he missed a game, I think. So I think 35 is a lot, and that's your realistic. I was asking for realistic expectations.
I thought you were saying like high end. What could happen if you're if you're saying like average? What is a realistic expectation? Bottom line, like I don't see it going below this line. Yeah, like 32.5 or 32.50 passing yards. I honestly think like 30 passing touchdowns.
You gotta. I mean, that's more on your offense just being really if they can perform well. If
30 passing touchdowns. I'll change it to 30 overall touchdowns. So we'll include rushing and passing. 30 overall touchdowns.
Still a lot.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a very realistic for an average to above average quarterback in the NFL to do that if they're playing all 18 games. And they're not a rushing quarterback.
I mean, assuming that the sufficient season, then yeah, it's pretty good for rookie. But yeah, I mean, even I'd have to look at his line.
I'm telling you, like that. I mean, no, the only quarterback that came into a situation like that as a rookie that I can remember, and really, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but Brock Purdy. He's the only quarterback that came into a situation like that had great wide receivers, a great offense behind him. You're talking about Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, two really solid running backs, and then a top tier Bears offensive line in the past 20 years.
His passing yard over under is 3,500.
Yeah, and I said 3,500 or I said 4,000 initially.
Plus 135 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Bears are favored to make the playoffs. 50-50, minus 120 to make the playoffs. Over 8.5 is your win total. So that's not. I don't like those for the Bears. That's a lot of.
Of course you don't, but that's okay. Yeah. I'm saying there's no quarterback besides Brock Purdy. There's no quarterback that has had a situation like that coming into the rookie year, and even more so. Think about a first overall pick quarterback. Luke and everybody can say what they want.
I think I would say that
quarterback does not come into a situation like that ever.
No, yes,
you're right.
You're right. I think it's still. Purdy had Kyle Shanahan. You don't have Kyle Shanahan. I think that's the big ingredient. So I think that's going to be the main factor in Shane Waldron. And like, I'm sure you heard it before. The coach who used 3 receiver sets the least out of everyone in the NFL last year, despite having JSN as their third receiver. You think hopefully he learned his lesson and how to really utilize young receivers? I just don't know. I don't know. I think that's a question mark. I think that's a fair question.
I mean, we're also talking about like we have, and I saw the Dan Orlovsky horrible take on
the receivers,
NFC North receiving core, and you
literally said that last year though. You said you would trade DJ Moore for our receivers. You said you would trade.
Not anymore. We have Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. I much prefer
question mark and a 32-year-old receiver. I mean, of course, I'm saying it's just not guaranteed yet. You haven't seen them play a single snap together yet. Besides preseason, did Keenan Allen even play in preseason game? Did DJ Moore play in the preseason? I didn't watch the Bears preseason game. I'm just saying it's a cool question mark. Okay, I'm saying it is fair to have hype. I'm not trying to bring you totally down, but I'm saying is that we still haven't seen it yet. And once we see, if we see solid play for half a season, I will say the Bears have arrived. But I am not crowning them yet. I'm not giving them shit yet. I will give them, like, I think your hype is real. And like what I just said earlier, that I think out of the past 3 quarterbacks, this is obviously the best one. It's the best in the modern draft era, yada, yada, yada. But I'd like to see it first.
I still think, and this is 100% true.
35, 40 touchdowns is outrageous. That's all I'm saying.
So Bill Hart.
That would be outrageous.
Pull up Bill's comment here. Rome is not a question mark. He's going to be good. Clearly.
He's still a rookie.
And by the way, what do you mean he's still a rookie? How many rookie wide receivers come in to a situation like that and do well? Just look at the past.
We thought JSN was going to be amazing last year, and he was under Shane Waldron. That's my main point.
Jaden Reed. You're also working with Geno Smith, who, by the way, is not good. He's not a good quarterback. He was good last year, or he was good 2 years ago, and kind of good last year. He wasn't. He's not a good quarterback.
Who's actually might be to help for that, or who gets credit for that?
Shane Waldron,
Dave Canales.
Is that the quarterback coach?
I believe he was quarterback coach that year, and then he was offensive coordinator for Baker the next year. And then, yeah. Or was he let's see. Quick fact check. Because he was for the Seahawks in 2022.
Okay,
yeah, it was
Sean and Luke are obviously trolls, but
yeah, he was.
But anyways, I want to move on. Like
dude, I'm all about that. It would be amazing if the Panthers like recovered and like played better than the Bears this year. That would be my like dream scenario. Without like disregarding anything Packer related, that would be just hilarious. If like Dan Canales like fixed the Panthers in 1 year and then Shane Waldron just tanked the Bears, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much.
That's what I think you guys should have hired.
Shane Waldron made Geno Smith look amazing. And you're saying it's Canals, so I'm disagreeing with that.
I'm just trying to mess with you.
Okay. Let's talk injuries.
No, I'd love to do it. I'm just saying he's a rookie. I mean, if he reaches his potential, he would be obviously as good as we think he might be in year one.
Well, how many rookie first round wide receivers in the past like 5 years? How many how many rookie wide receivers who were picked up in the first round in the last 5 years? What percentage of them would you say are successful? And maybe we can look.
It's like a 50-50 hit rate for receivers in the first round. I mean,
right.
it's actually
now.
Worse.
Okay, now
it's just lately we've had good luck as of late, and so you could follow that trend,
right?
But like,
so now,
I don't think it's a hot take to say, can we wait to see the rookies play? I don't think that's a hot take.
Of course,
I'm not sure what I'm disagreeing with. I feel like I forgot what I started. Where I started.
We were talking about wide receiver cores and how you're trying to write off Roma Dunze.
Yeah, I just don't want to say you guys have better. Honestly, I'm just the Packer fan in me won't let me say it. So.
Okay, and I'm okay with that.
I like the chemistry with Jordan Love.
I think we're all better than the Vikings.
I think Wicks could be a very you like Wicks too. You think he could be a breakout guy. So I mean, if you have 4 very very good receivers, and then
I like. I have a
huge.
If we're talking fantasy purposes, though, we're not talking fantasy yet. Let's talk injury. Let's jump into fantasy talk because
we kind of lingered on the Bears. I was trying to move ahead of the Bears.
Yeah, I was trying to get off of it, and I'm like, oh great, Luke's
pissed you off, so you had to
as usual. Man,
Quentin Johnson in college, he's told, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's also just opportunity, and like I don't like his opportunities necessarily. So, all right, let's check out. Hold on, let me save this, and then we can put it on the screen. We'll do Luke's. I mean, I think everyone here knows about injuries. I don't think we need to really linger on those. I just think it sucks I actually do feel bad for Vikings fans. That I think I was talking to you this on the phone the other day or something. Like it is really unfortunate, but at least like JJ's still really young, and he needed time to like kind of study and learn the offense. It doesn't help not getting reps, obviously, but like it's very detrimental. But like if that happened to like the Bears this season, dude, I can't imagine. Like Chicago would be on fire,
right?
If that like in Hard Knocks to be there too to document it. Oh, I feel like I hope I'm not like cursing you guys. Not Williams' job.
That
how awesome one of the rookies, like besides Michael Penix, I think that was the one to lose. Like just take like a redshirt year. I mean, assuming he's healthy. Like no one wants to see that. It's awful.
Well, how crazy would it be? Caleb Williams gets injured. Tyson Bagent comes in, and with that offense in the QB scheme, because Bagent wasn't horrible when he was.
I don't think he was much worse than Fields. I mean, he was.
I was gonna say he really wasn't, but it was also a bad offense.
Yeah.
So Tyson Bagent comes in and does the whole Brock Purdy thing, or you could say the whole Colin Kaepernick thing with Alex Smith, or and comes in and just steals the job. And Caleb Williams doesn't get a chance to play if he got a year-long injury. And then they're like, "Hey, we're winning. We made the playoffs. We did really well with Tyson. Made it deep into the playoffs." And then they're like, "Let's hold our stock in Caleb Williams and trade him and get, a decent haul from him. And then let's just stick with Tyson Bagent." That would be awesome too. I don't really care. I mean, Caleb Williams is the man. Awesome if Tyson Bagent's the man. I don't care as long as the Bears are winning.
All right, Luke. So it looks like you took AJ Brown with your first pick, Kyron with your second. I know Bryan would like that. Mahomes at 3. What kind of league is this? First off, Kincaid. That's a little high for Kincaid. I don't think it's terrible though. Kamara. I didn't overdraft Tank Dell. I like that for you. Tank Dell. That's a good.
Luke, we have the same team.
He basically does.
I
don't like Chubb. I don't think he's even going to play much this year, and I think their identity is not going to be based on the run like it was before. We'll see. If Watson sucks, they might not have a choice. Ravens. That's high for a defense. I hate it. They have a good week. I like Baker Mayfield in the back end. That's good. I think that's good. Good value for Baker. I don't hate your team. I think it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
I don't like the AJ Brown pick in the first round, but I respect that. I would have taken.
I think that's a tough pick. That's like a really tough pick there.
But it also depends on what it is. Is it a PPR?
I mean, dude, AJ Brown was insane last year. That's the thing.
I still am heavy. I mean, there's Josh Allen was picked in that first round, so not a legit draft.
I don't know. I think AJ Brown's really good. He made some like insane plays and had some crazy yardage in some games. So I don't blame you for taking him at 9.
So Luke, we have like 5 of the same players on our team. I have Tank Dell, Kyron Williams, Kamara, Jaden Reed, and there was somebody else that you had. But
you gotta work on some names together, some fantasy names.
Oh yeah.
Let's get into our fantasy because you gotta wrap this up by 7:30.
Let's jump into our matchup. Oh, we'll do our sleepers.
Fantasy, yeah. Then we can go over our teams, I guess. You want to do our teams first? Hold on.
Yeah, let's do. Well, let's just show our matchup, and then it'll show our teams.
Right. Let me pull up. How was your summer, Brian?
It was good. I did a lot of like stupid stuff. Went to see Creed.
We need to go to see Creed. Yeah, I should have uploaded a video I could share with people. Maybe I can. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Maybe we will. Johnny and I went to see Creed and Three Doors Down in concert at the Hollywood Amphitheater in St. Louis. And Luke's fantasy name this year will be Let the Bodies Hit LaFleur.
Dude, I like that.
That's a good one. That is a
very good one.
Add it to the list.
So yeah, as you see, I got Dak as my starting quarterback. Let's hope his injury doesn't linger. It looks like they took it off his thing though. I didn't see any news on it. He has Josh Allen, which kind of like you took him a little high, but not that high. So I think it was a good pick for you.
Yeah, he was my 4th pick. But my 3rd and I was 10th overall, and there's only 10 people, so my 4th was.
It was the first pick of the 4th round.
Yeah, so it was like the 31st pick or whatever.
CD Lamb. I took CD Lamb at number 3. Devontae. I might have taken a little too high in hindsight, but I like Devontae. I want Devontae. Pacheco I took with my 2nd pick, and then Nico. I think was a good pick for me in like the 3rd or 4th round. I think the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid. Who do you guys think is the better team? Let us know in the comment live chat below.
I mean, Luke's gonna say mine because I have like half his players.
He also has a bias towards me. Right?
That's true. So he's gonna be split here.
He just knows I'm the better fantasy player, so he gives me the benefit of the doubt.
Bullshit. And I had my first overall pick in number 10 and then number 11. So it was Garrett Wilson and then Kyron Williams. Luke says I have the best team.
Of course. All right, I see how it is, Luke.
But when you're
I guess we have 9 people in here. It's not bad. Would you guys be interested in a league? Maybe we can set it up next week or something. If you guys are interested in fantasy league, then we can talk crap to each other on our stream because we definitely want to get this going. We want to get back in the schedule of Thursday nights here on the Johnny Barks show with Bryan.
It's the Johnny Barks. Did you guys like that?
Maybe
intro?
we should what?
Did they like the intro?
Oh, do you like the intro? I like the intro, of course. You asking the
Johnny
the
has
audience?
notes for the intro.
I don't have notes.
You had notes. You had them.
You didn't adjust them?
There was like, I think the audio is like super loud, but
One of the clips. Yeah.
there's probably a whatever that's called, is it a gain or whatever, when it makes sure the audio doesn't go over a certain point.
I'm trying to do this one thing.
Sean's like, I'm already in 9 leagues. What's a 10th one?
Of course. Honestly, I've only in 1 so far. I didn't want to keep. I don't like being in more than like 2, because then I start to care less about one of them, and then like the ones I don't care about, I'll be like 5 and 1, and then like 2 and 4, and the one I care about, and I'm like, not very helpful. It just makes me like feel like I'm all doing all this for no. It's for fun, right? It's all about competitiveness and the toxicity, just encouraging the toxicity as one should.
Yes, 100%. I can't be in group chats really, so if we put a group chat together, I'm going to get really aggressive. So we could do that for this league if we want to do one for the pod, but just know I'm going to be super aggressive.
Yeah, let us know. All right, I don't know how to. It's not letting me add this Creed clip. I'm trying to. Gosh dang it. I don't have my setup the way I wanted to.
That's okay.
I'll try one more time. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Well, I'll sort of transition into this.
Yes.
Chris Evans is out for the year with a torn patellar tendon.
Chris Evans is. That sucks. That sucks. Hate this so early in the year. But it's part of sports. Part of sport. I just saw Christian Yelich has to get surgery, man. That sucks. I'm a very casual baseball fan, but I love me.
Well,
some Yelly.
That's good for the Chase Brown stock, who I have on my bench. So thanks for the breaking news.
It's not showing me I think I have to convert it to like a whatever. It's in the wrong format. Anyways, let's go through these and we will end the show so you guys can get us off your lovely TV screens. All right. Our fantasy sleepers of the year. This is for all year. The basis which I kind of went on was these are guys that will be in later rounds that I think are better than where they are being drafted. So I think if you draft
we're looking at 7th round or later, right?
Yeah,
7th round or later.
Like 7th round or later for me. I think I have the ADP for every one of my guys. I don't know if you followed.
I added mine. I added.
Oh,
mine.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know if we use the same website to do the ADP.
I just use Yahoo. I didn't.
Okay, I use Fantasy Pros. So, well, I mean, they might get in the same data, so we'll see.
It'll be the same area. All right, let's get on.
We're doing QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end.
Oh, of course, Brian. Don't make me laugh at you. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We both pick rookies. Reasoning for Caleb Williams. Go.
He's got a lot of weapons. He can do some magic with his feet. I can see him as a top 10 fantasy quarterback. We're talking fantasy, by the way. We're not talking overall. So, and there's a difference, 100% a difference. So I put Caleb Williams as my sleeper because he's getting picked in the 10th round or later, typically. And I do think he'll be a top 10 quarterback for fantasy purposes. But I don't have him on my team. He's not my quarterback. I have Josh Allen, so I'm fine.
You didn't take him 60th overall, like our friend Brandon. Not Brandon.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Our friend in the league picked him. Oh man, so high. You know, I respect that.
Above Joe Burrow and Dak and a couple other quarterbacks. And Kyler.
Oh yeah, way too high. And here's just a little hint or a little tip for you new to fantasy. Try not to pick quarterbacks higher than late third most of the time, depending on your league. You know, if you have a 2 quarterback league, you would want to pick a little early. But if it's a 1 quarterback league, traditional scoring, everything, late third is like the highest you want to go. That's your Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. you don't want to do anything before that, because if people are picking before that, that means very good value players are getting dropped to you, and you need to pick them quickly.
Just assume no one here has played fantasy football, Brian.
Okay, I'll just assume that.
Be that condescending. Okay, it wasn't that bad.
No, I think that's good because we saw it in Luke's draft. We saw that in Luke's draft. Somebody picked Josh Allen in the first round.
I didn't want to take Love. I was going to be that biased, but here we go. Love only being taken like a round or two before Caleb, by the way. And, he's proven. He's actually proven something.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that might be a good value for.
But I didn't take Jordan Love. I took Bo freaking Nix, baby. This has nothing to do with Brandon Perna. I laughed at Brandon for a bit. Then I started to think. Sean Payton, he likes to pass the ball a lot. And Bo Nix can already make plays on his feet. He looked, I know it's just preseason, but he looked pretty like he knew what he was doing in that offense. He's like not send his receivers to the hospital with a couple passes, but like I like Bo Nix, man. I think the hype might be legit for Broncos country. I think he's going to start very early. I think he might actually start week 1, like a lot of people were saying. He likes to run the ball too. Like he could get a decent amount of rushing touchdowns, like in the red zone. And like they haven't, unless Javonte kind of turns it around this year, they don't have much of a running game. And like I think they could be like an average team this year. Like they went 7-9, or like what 8-9 or 7-10 with it was 8-9 with Russ. And I know like maybe this has more to do with like Courtland Sutton, because I think he could be like a legit option too, and like he could get a lot of targets. I don't know. I think that they're going to pass the ball a lot, and I think they're also going to let Bo make plays with his feet, and like that's a recipe for success for fantasy quarterbacks. I know it's like assuming that their offense is going to be at least average, but I think if their offense is average, he could be a steal.
Well, you know who's the number one quarterback, or you know who's number one quarterback on their team on their depth chart right now is Bo Nix.
That doesn't mean anything.
Not official. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything. It's not official, but you're kind of hinting at something when you're putting that on your website. And Bo Nix is 2 letters away from being a boner. And I think that means something. I think that tells us something.
Boner.
You should be excited.
That's what his fans should be called, boners. I am a boner believer.
Boner for life.
I want to believe, baby. I'm serious, though. I'm serious. I'm buying into the Bo Nix hype after one preseason game. I'm doing it.
I like how we're just going with the rookies and just let's do it. Okay, my running back, Tajay. I know they have Tony Pollard.
They're going about the same. There are like, honestly, it's like almost like 50-50. Like some drafts, Spears is going first, and some drafts, Pollard is going first. But Pollard has been the trending back as it recently seems.
I mean, I'll say this: Tony Pollard was a hot mess last year, and for the expectations people had of him, he was a hot mess. And
he had a lot of hype, though. Like he had so much hype going into the last year.
And let's just say let me just look this up. How old is Tony Pollard?
I think he's still only like 26, 27.
27. Okay. When do running backs die in the NFL?
Like 28 is when 28 is a make or break year. So technically he has like 1 year left of his prime this year.
Okay.
29 is like
27 was the year that they start to fall off. But
that might be the year actually.
28. Luke says 28. His birthday is April 30th, so I guess he's got a full season ahead of him. But I'm going to say Tajay's young, and honestly, he had a lot of explosiveness last year when given consistent opportunities.
No, I mean, I don't hate it. He's still 23. And Tom really likes Tajay Spears a lot. I'm not super hyped about him. I think that Tony Pollard could make a little return, but I'm not just being devil's advocate here.
Oh yeah,
no. I think he has potential. Like he has potential. I think that's a good. Whoever you like in that offense, I think the Titans could surprise people this year. I got Rico Dowdle for mine, ADP 132 going. I think he was the third to last pick in our draft, which I was right before I picked my kicker, I was going to pick Rico Dowdle because I kind of changed my mind on him. No, Rico could win this Cowboys starting spot over Zeke. I know they trust Zeke a lot, and him and Dak have that chemistry together. But ultimately, Dak isn't the coach, and they're going to play who's better, and they're going to give the carries to whoever is better. So I think Rico could end up being the better back in this Cowboys offense. Who the Cowboys have been like the number one offense, They've had a top 5 offense like the past 5 years while Dak has been healthy. So like excluding the time that Dak missed with injury, they have basically been a top 5 offense that whole time. So I don't see a reason for that to change, assuming they get CeeDee Lamb back on the field.
Right.
So I mean, that's your given. Like if they have a good offense, they're going to have a good running back, even if he only gets half those carries, he's going to get a lot of touchdowns, and he is worth a 13th round pick. Like that's my take.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that choice.
Been listening to too much fantasy football podcast, so maybe I'm just stealing other people's work. Brian, you got Curtis Samuel. I'll let you go.
I have Curtis Samuel. ADP 118.
It seems like he's going well before that in a lot of drafts. He's going around the 100 mark in my experience.
Yeah, and I found this out a couple days ago. Did you know the offensive coordinator for the Bills was the same offensive coordinator? I think it was offensive coordinator. I'd have to Google it, but it was like the same offensive coordinator for the Panthers when Curtis Samuel was on the Panthers.
Oh, really?
And that's basically why he got.
Yeah, I mean it's
no. So, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm gonna Google it, but Joe Brady. Anyways, so how many targets are now given up now with Diggs and Gabe Davis gone? Like so many targets, and you're thinking Josh Allen hasn't really digressed in any way or downgraded in any way. And I think they lost, or maybe they just signed an offensive lineman. I don't remember. But they've definitely been downgraded in terms of wide receiver, but targets have gone up for availability for Keon Coleman and Curtis Samuel. So
yeah, I think Coleman. That's where I'm buying the hype. I think Keon Coleman could be very good.
I'm saying Curtis Samuel, did you see like last year on Washington was awesome for what he was. And we talked about this last year. He was sort of like the guy that got around in our league. People would drop him and then another person would pick him up on waivers, and then he'd put up like 10 points solidly every week.
Like the best. Yeah, he was like the best waiver wire player like every week.
Right.
It was funny.
But it was like a bye week. Nobody wanted to keep him on the roster because he had that low basement.
But he'd always get those 10 points for you, like every week.
Yeah, almost consistently it was, especially if it was a good matchup and you knew that DBs were going to be targeting Scary Terry. It was like Curtis Samuel was a good, or if they had one good DB, they would all be on Terry, and then Curtis Samuel would have a ton of targets that game. So it was just sort of how it went. But I do like Curtis Samuel. He's an awesome guy, awesome player too. He's sort of like a gadget player, like what's his name? Cordero Patterson. I'd compare him to Cordero Patterson like 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
They like the end arounds with him
but he has a better quarterback than Patterson did. So
a lot of opportunity there. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Kind of a popular sleeper, but hey, he's still considered a sleeper.
He's over 70. He's in the hundreds.
Get your coworkers who aren't too familiar with it.
Right.
They don't know the name. They don't know. So I got Christian Kirk here with Calvin Ridley leaving, saying bye-bye to go to Tennessee to get a nice little paycheck there. That leaves Christian Kirk as the number one receiver in Jacksonville. He has some competition. They did draft Brian Thomas Jr., and there's a lot of hype for him in training camp. But Christian Kirk, when he was healthy in 2022, I bring up his stats, but he just had a monster year. He had so many like red zone targets and a lot of touchdowns. And like that was like when everyone was talking crap because they paid him like $17 million, which seems like crazy cheap now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's legit. He's a good receiver, and he's just one of those, like, he might not get you, like, a 30-point game every week, but he's going to get his fair share of targets, and he's going to get his touchdowns, I think. And even if the Jaguars aren't great, and if they, like, kind of dwindle down like they did last year, you still expect Trevor Lawrence to at least throw the ball around, and they got Doug Peterson to, like, throw the ball. So, like, good pick at number 78. Get you in the 7th. I think it's a great receiver 3 if you have him as receiver 3 right there.
Oh, of course.
On to the tight ends at last. Is Taysom Hill even a tight end?
Well, he's my Taysom Hill to die upon. I'm going to die upon. So,
I like that.
No, Taysom Hill, I pulled these up just to confirm. He had 11 rushing touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns last year. Now, if you combine that with
tight ends and passing touchdowns last year, do you think?
I think he did. No. Now, if you combine that with Dennis Allen's hype about him, which, by the way, every coach is going to hype Taysom Hill. He's a good athlete, a good player, a good person.
Swiss Army knife.
He's a Swiss Army knife. I see him becoming more and more regular in that quarterback position too. So if they're still considering him a tight end and he's getting even more reps at the quarterback, like the Tebow situation, but on steroids, you have to.
He's worth. I mean, yeah, you never know, because he could be that. He starts putting up numbers, and he's going to be gone from the waiver wire immediately if he doesn't.
He'll have like the past few years. He's had like 4 or 5 amazing games, and then like little to nothing for the rest of them. But
it's always every time I play him, it's like he fucking puts up 20 points from the freaking tight end slot. Like, come on.
Right. He puts up total year numbers. He puts up crazy numbers for a tight end, and you would put him in a top 10 tight end position, but nobody does that because it's so targeted in specific games. So
yeah, you never know. It's very.
I hope I'm sleeping on him. I'm making him a sleeper in my sleeper pick because I think he's going to be more involved on a day-to-day basis.
You're sleeping on him. You just said it yourself.
I'm not sleeping. I said that, and I was like, that's not the right way to say that.
I got Dalton Schultz over here. His ADP dropped quite a bit from last year just because they have added, Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell kind of blossomed. But I think there's enough to go around, man. I think that if they're even the top 10, not the top 5, I think if they're still a top 10 offense, like they're projected to be, then there's going to be enough to go around, and he's worth a freaking 12-round pick. Like, if you are drafting tight end late, he's like one of your last like real solid options. So like, don't let him slip through your fingers, man. Because he's being taken 9 spots above Pat Freiermuth. If you watch Pat, I know they have a new offense this year, and Arthur Smith loves his tight ends that are not crazy athletic, but Pat's a good guy. Anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. Dalton, he's being drafted like 9 spots above him, and I think he's way better, and he's going to put out much more of an output. You're getting much more bang for your buck there than waiting to take Freiermuth or a Luke Musgrave.
Right.
Although I do like Luke Musgrave, I think he could really break out this year. I'm not going to talk bad about my guys.
But I will say I love tight ends. Like last year was an awesome year for tight ends. Like legitimately, it was hard to find a tight end that wasn't. If you had a 10 to 12 person league, it was hard not to have a tight end put up 9 to 11 points a week. I had
Evan Ingram for most of the year last year, and he was just a reception machine. If we were in PPR, it would have been amazing. But like he was like 9 receptions a game for like 60 yards. So, like,
right. Yeah, and I want to say, if you look at the map of them, it's showing like their value is showing on their ADPs this year for what they were able to accomplish last year. So I really like Dalton Schultz. I had him most of the year last year. And then I also had Jake Ferguson, I think, 2 years ago, but in the beginning of the year last year. But I like those guys. I personally drafted Cole Kmet, and because I had to draft a tight end later, and people are saying, like with Gerald Everett coming in and
I think you overdrafted him, but that's my humble opinion.
All right.
Who did you take him over? You took him over a couple of guys I wasn't sure about. Let me see here.
I was about to pull up the draft while we were sitting here. Is what I'm.
You took him over Dalton Schultz, yeah, and Brock Bowers. Yeah, I got Dalton Schultz in the 13th round. You took him a whole round over.
Cole Kmet has a better quarterback this year, for one. A better passing quarterback. And he has a better offensive scheme this year too. He's a really good tight end. Like legitimately, he is a good. He's been consistently a top 10 tight end.
I'm just saying, who do you guys trust more, the Bears offense or the Texans offense?
Texans. And no offense to the Bears, but as a Bears fan, but I'd pick the Texans. But I think I would still pick. I think I would still draft Cole Kmet over. No, I mean I picked him exactly where I think he should have been picked. I would draft him over Dalton Schultz. I did draft him over.
All right, we'll see.
But he's not my sleeper because I feel like he's his ADP is right around 100 or so. I'd have to check. Cole Kmet ADP. Anyways,
you think he'll Cole Kmet more yards? Like Met.
Yeah, his ADP. Oh, his ADP is 126. Well,
120. Yeah, you overdrafted him, bro. I'm telling you.
By one pick, it looks like.
By a whole round, bro. For Schultz fell to 13. Like Schultz was a whole round after that. You could have taken Schultz.
He's ranked the number 15 number 14 tight end sleeper, or number 14 tight end overall by CBS. It's because of the Gerald Everett situation, but I don't care. I'm still riding or dying with Cole Kmet. Was awesome last year too. He was good. What changed? They just added another veteran tight end when they got rid of what's his name?
Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's ride.
That's all right. We'll wrap it there.
that was my. It's time to. It was 7:30.
I'm glad you said that. Or did that because I need to go check on Theo watching Paw Patrol.
Hey, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next week. I'm Johnny.
And this is Bryan.
And you have been sportified. We still haven't come out with an outro.
A nice little tag at the end. But...
Let's do that next week before the show. We can figure out our outro and